Hello and welcome to Affinity. Glow is a kind of dreamy effect that is used to give it like a romantic appearance and so on. There are various ways of doing it, and a very common way is to use blur. And this is a 4-stage process. The first stage is selection. You select an area of the screen that you're going to use. The basic one to use is to select everything. In other words, just effectively do nothing. But we'll look at this in other videos, look at what you can select. So you can select things like, if I go select tonal range, I could select something like the shadows or highlights, typically highlights. You can also select by color or by shape. For example, I could select this whole person's head and not have the rest of it glowy. So let's start with that. So the first thing, selecting, we're going to choose all of it. The next stage is blur. And the way to do that is to go to one of the blurs up here. And again, we're going to explore different blurs in future videos. And we'll start here with the Gaussian blur, which is the most common one to use because it gives a nice kind of blur. If we turn this up now, I can turn it pretty much all the way up. You get this effect around the edge. Click on Preserve Alpha, gets rid of that. Now the third stage is to blend. I can blend it back in. And to do that, I go down here to the blend mode, which says normal here, and I go up here, and there are two ones that are commonly used. One is soft light, which gives a certain effect here. You can see here that you're getting color change here. It's getting it a bit darker, and the color's a bit richer, and there's a certain amount of blur in here. But if you go up to screen, you get a lot more of that blurry effect. It goes lighter, of course, because it's part of the lighten group of blends, which is okay because it's kind of highlighting it, and you get this high key effect, which often goes along with being dreamy. So let's take that one. Now then, that's pretty much it. You can literally see go from there to there. You immediately got a dreamy effect. But what you can do as well, because this is lighter and it's taken a bit out of the colors, you can say, well, let's have a go at sort of restoring some of the original color. So I'm going to go back to here and add a curves layer. So go to curves, and I'm going to darken it down a bit to bring it back to where it was, which is down here. But at the same time, if I do this, I'm losing something of the glow effect. So I can compensate for that by saying don't change the lightness of it, just change the color. And the way to do that is to go down to here, and there's one here called luminosity and one called color, and see that one there, you've got more color. So now if I move this up and down, see, I can bring it back a bit more, put a bit more color into it. So I'm maybe doing about there, that'll do. So there you go, that's the glow. You can do this quite easily on other images as well. It's very commonly done in portraits. Let's take another one here, just a fairground scene, and very quickly we'll go to a Gaussian blur. We'll turn up the blur, do a preserve alpha, blend mode to screen. You can play with this again, you can go back to this any time. Maybe we'll have not quite so much on this time. You can also, with this effect, always play with opacity, which will change how much effectively the effect is put in. So if you had a high radius, you might want to try that's maybe a bit much. You can turn down the opacity. It's another way of doing it. So there we go. You can do that. We can also put in quick curves if you want. See how quick and easy it is to do these things. There we go. So there you go, there's the basics of blur. And so for this one, for example, we can go before and after, and this one before and after. And it's very easy: select, blur, blend, and recolor. Thank you very much for watching.